You are emblematic of why the Democrat Party has no dignity and no respect for women. You are emblematic of why Democrats don't put Americans first. Mr. O'Malley, my first question this morning, can you, a candidate to be chair of the Democrat Party, define what a woman is for me today?
A sitting congresswoman asked a man who wants to lead one of the two most powerful political parties in America one simple question, and he cannot answer it. By the time this video is done, you will understand exactly why that moment matters far beyond committee room in Washington. Like and subscribe right now, because this is the kind of content you are not going to want to miss.
Bill Chair now recognizes Ms. Mace from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Martin O'Malley, I want to wish you luck in your campaign to be chair of the Democrat National Committee. And let me just say, I think you are the perfect candidate to chair the Democrat Party. Your liberal record is truly astonishing.
Thank you.
At an event in 2005, you compared a federal budget request, which cut spending, to the terrorist attacks of 9/11. You raised taxes, tolls, and fees on your constituents 83 times as governor of Maryland, including increasing sales taxes, income taxes, the gas tax. You also created an array of new taxes on services for your constituents.
And the number one public
I'm
schools
talking,
in
I'm going to
America.
reclaim my time. I'm talking right now. I've not asked you a question yet, have I? No, I have not.
No, you haven't.
For your constituents, making your constituents, the people you served in Maryland, pay more. You love some law-breaking illegal aliens as well. You've advocated for mass amnesty for illegal aliens. My favorite part of your love for criminals in this country is you don't refer to them as illegal aliens, but instead you refer to them as new Americans. You must really hate American citizens. You must really hate our country. In 2011, you signed a bill into law to allow illegal aliens to qualify for in-state tuition at public universities in Maryland. And the hits are going to keep on coming. In 2014, you signed a bill into law to allow illegal aliens to get Maryland driver's license. In 2014, you signed a bill into law to allow gender-confused, sexually perverted men to use women's restrooms and locker rooms. In other words, you forced women and underage girls to undress in front of men. I could go on. Suffice to say, you're perfectly in line with the Democrat Party today and emblematic of why Democrats just can't stop losing elections. You are emblematic of why the Democrat Party has no dignity and no respect for women. You are emblematic of why Democrats don't put Americans first. Mr. O'Malley, my first question this morning, can you, a candidate to be chair of the Democrat Party, define what a woman is for me today?
Madam, or
Can you
Congresswoman-
define what a woman is?
Oh, yes.
What is a woman?
You're going to ask me to define what a woman
Yes,
is?
I am right now.
Well, I'm
You
talking,
just said you could.
yes,
Explain it to me.
I'm talking to a woman right now, distinguished woman.
What is a
elected
woman?
Representative.
What is a woman?
I think you're kind of denigrating the purpose of this.
What is
hearing.
it? You can't define what a woman is. All right. In an
I'm
effort to
married
be fair,
to a woman.
in an
I
effort
have
to be
two
fair and
daughters who are
unbiased,
women.
in an effort to be fair and unbiased, can you define what a man is for me?
I have two sons
Okay.
that are men. Yes,
I have a
can.
series of yes or no questions. So the potentially future chair of the Democrat Party cannot define, let's for the record, Mr. Chairman, he cannot define what a woman is, and he cannot define what a man is.
This is-
And you expect people in this country to follow your lead? I'm a woman who has broken so many glass ceilings in my life. The first Republican woman elected to Congress from South Carolina, the first woman to ever graduate from the Citadel of the Military College of South Carolina. I know what a woman is, and I'm going to protect every one of them. So I have a series of yes or no questions for you. Today, one of my Democrat colleagues yesterday stated a rape victim's fear of rape was just, quote, fantasy. Do you agree with this statement? Is a woman's fear of rape, being raped, a fantasy? Yes or no?
No, it's not a fact.
Okay, one of my Democrat colleagues yesterday stated a rape victim's fear of rape is being, quote, dramatic. Do you agree with that statement? Fear of rape being dramatic? Yes or no?
Well, what could be.
Okay, you can't answer the question. My next question, you've spoken of Democrats needing to restore credibility and learn from your failings, and to quote from you recently, learn from your very bad loss. Is this in reference to Democrats raising taxes on the middle class? Yes or no?
No.
Is this in reference to Maryland not requiring an ID to vote in their elections?
No.
Is this in reference to coddling criminal illegal aliens?
No. I've never.
Is this in reference to starting a war on real biological women?
No.
Is this in reference to allowing men in women's bathrooms?
No.
Is this in reference to forcing women and girls to undress in front of men in the locker room?
Oh, come on.
Yes or no?
Congresswoman.
This is your party's platform. You understand what I'm laying out for you. Do you understand
I
English?
understand what you're trying to lay out, but
No,
our
this
party's
is-
platform is the economic security
No,
and the
I'm gonna reclaim
well-being
my time,
of every
Mr.
man,
Chairman. Mr.
woman,
Chairman, I'm
and
gonna reclaim my
child
time.
in the United States of
I'm gonna
America.
reclaim my
That's
time.
our party's platform.
I'm going to reclaim my
Ms.
time.
Mace's
Mr. Chairman.
time.
Mr. Chairman, the witness should not be badgered.
Mr. Chairman,
Chair
I would like to
recognizes Ms.
reclaim my
Mace.
time.
Ms. Mace.
Just yesterday, only 2 Democrats voted with us to protect women in sports. This is your platform. You want boys and men women to be able to watch women undress in a locker room. So is your big loss in reference to taking away women's achievements in sports?
I believe.
Yes or no?
No, I
Is
don't.
your loss in reference to allowing men to take away women's scholarships? Yes or no?
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's time has expired.
He took my time, Mr. Chairman.
She had about 15 seconds that rolled around, so you got one time for one last question, Ms. Mace.
Think hard.
She asked the question.
You have learned nothing from your own failings when you tried to run for president as a far-left progressive alternative to Hillary Clinton and dropped out after getting 0.5% at the Iowa caucus. So good luck with that, Mr. DNC Chairman. I yield
Thank
back.
you. I appreciate your well wishes.
There are moments in politics that cut through all the noise. No spin required. No editorial commentary needed. The exchange speaks entirely for itself. What happened in that committee room between Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina and Martin O'Malley, former governor of Maryland and candidate for chair of the Democrat National Committee, was one of those moments, and it deserves a serious, honest breakdown. O'Malley walked into that hearing as a man auditioning for one of the most consequential jobs in American politics. The chair of a national party does not just manage logistics. That person sets the tone, defines the message, and represents the philosophical direction of an entire political movement. So the questions asked of him are not trivial. They are an audition, and auditions have consequences. Representative Mace opened by walking through O'Malley's record, and his record is not a matter of opinion. It is documented policy history. As governor of Maryland, taxes, tolls, and fees were raised on constituents 83 times. That includes increases to sales taxes, income taxes, and the gas tax, along with a series of new taxes on services. If you are a working family in Maryland during those years, you felt that. That is not rhetoric. That is arithmetic. She also walked through his immigration policy positions, support for mass amnesty, legislation allowing individuals without legal status to qualify for in-state tuition at public universities in Maryland, legislation allowing those same individuals to obtain Maryland driver's licenses. These are not allegations. These are bills he signed. His signature is on the paper. Now, reasonable people can debate immigration policy. That debate is worth having. But what is not debatable is whether these policies existed. They did. And when a candidate for national party leadership has a record like that, it is entirely appropriate for a congressional representative to put it on the table. Then came the question. Representative Mace asked O'Malley to define what a woman is, and he could not do it. Let that sit for a moment. A man who wants to chair a major national political party, who will be expected to craft messaging and policy positions that speak to hundreds of millions of Americans, could not produce a definition for one of the most fundamental categories in human experience. He gestured at her. He referenced her presence in the room. He deflected. He did not answer. She then gave him a second opportunity. She asked him to define what a man is. He referenced his sons. He did not provide a definition. Now, some will say this is a gotcha question, a political trap. But consider what that argument actually concedes. If defining a woman is a trap, it is only a trap because the honest answer creates political problems for one side of this debate. That is not a reflection of the question being unfair. That is a reflection of a policy position that cannot survive direct scrutiny. Words matter in law. Categories matter in policy. When legislation is written to protect women in sports, in correctional facilities, in shelters, in locker rooms, those protections depend entirely on a clear and consistent definition of the category being protected. If the person who wants to lead your party cannot define that category, you have a serious problem. Not a talking points problem, a governing problem. Mace then moved through a rapid series of yes or no questions. She asked about statements made by a Democrat colleague the previous day, characterizing a victim's fear of assault as a fantasy. She asked whether that characterization was accurate or acceptable. She asked about the party's record on identification requirements at the ballot box, on athletic competition, on private spaces. O'Malley struggled throughout. He pivoted to talking points about economic security. He spoke about the well-being of every man, woman, and child in America, which is an interesting choice of language from someone who could not define either of the first two categories 60 seconds earlier. Here is what this exchange actually reveals, and this is the part that matters beyond political theater. There is a growing gap in American public life between the language that officials use in policy settings and the language that ordinary citizens use in everyday life. When a governor signs a bill into law that allows individuals of one biological category to use the private facilities of another, and then cannot define either category when asked directly, the question that follows is a reasonable one. On what basis was that law written? If the category does not have a working definition, what exactly did the legislation protect, and for whom? These are not hostile questions. They are the kind of questions any serious policy analyst, regardless of political affiliation, should be asking. Law requires precision. Precision requires definition. Definition requires the willingness to state clearly what you mean. Mace made another point worth examining carefully. She noted that only 2 Democrats voted with Republicans to protect biological women in athletic competition. 2 in a chamber of hundreds. And this, she argued, is not an outlier position within the party. It is a platform. Whatever the official language says about economic security and national well-being, the voting record tells a story, and voting records are public. Now, I want to be fair here. O'Malley walked into a hostile environment. Committee hearings are not structured for a calm, nuanced discussion. They are adversarial by design, and Mace used every second of her time aggressively. That is her right. That is the format. But the purpose of that format is accountability. And accountability requires that the person being questioned engage with the substance of what is being asked. Deflection is a choice. So is clarity. O'Malley chose deflection every single time. She closed by noting his presidential campaign record. He entered the 2016 race as a progressive challenger, received 0.5% at the Iowa caucus, and withdrew. She offered him good luck with his current bid. The room responded accordingly. The deeper issue here is not about one hearing or one candidate. It is about what voters across the country are increasingly noticing. When officials cannot give straight answers to straight questions, it does not read as nuance. It reads as avoidance. And avoidance, over time, erodes a one thing that no political party can afford to lose: trust. Clarity is not cruelty. Asking for a definition is not an attack. And expecting the person who wants to lead your party to be able to articulate basic positions in plain language is not an unreasonable standard. It is the minimum. America deserves officials who can say what they mean and mean what they say. Whatever your politics, that should not be a controversial position.